Good afternoon. You're listening to the Mother's Justice Show at 11:50 a.m. KKNW. I'm your host, Reverend Walden. It's my joy to be on there. This is my time of year. I act like a kid. Not that I'm going to get anything. Mr. I might go give me I might give me a lump of coal. I don't know how, but I get to be a kid. All right, Mr. Rye, how you doing today?
I'm doing fine, but I'm here. I think too much of you to not to give you a gift now. You've
well,
done outstanding work for years, so.
so I'm not going to get a lump of coal from you.
No. Whatever
No,
you
no,
get
I
from me
don't.
will be precious. It's something you can use. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, trying to be good when you're a kid, all that stuff, some people with some, Pan Africans and other people all kind of had a kind of like was against Christmas in some ways, and I can understand that. But I think all children should have something to dream about, to hope about. You know that? I mean, really, if you want that little old train coming and you think you're going to get that little train and you get that little train and all that stuff, I mean, it's a wonderful thing to have children to grow up with some kind of hope and happiness. And sometimes that's not always true for our children. And so, anyway, I mean, I just love this time of year. So come on, tell us what's up. I know you got
Yeah,
something you're
well,
working on.
I just want to say, as Christians, we know the reason for the season.
Well, yeah, we do
Yeah,
know the reason for the
yeah,
season.
yeah.
But that also brings gifts and joy for people. I
That's
mean,
right.
this word that came to the planet with the birth of Christ. Every epochs, a great master comes to the world, and it's been good. I mean, and we're still trying to spread that message of good cheer, love, and hope for all people.
We need to drop a ton of that on Washington D.C. while Congress is in session.
Well, all over the world.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Harriett, we've been working on the Seattle Martin Luther King Organizing Coalition. Have been busy preparing for the annual holiday, the 41st annual Martin Luther King Day event that's been held in Seattle.
Wow.
And
41 years,
yeah,
that's a real accomplishment, isn't it? Because I
it
think you
is.
got started before it was a holiday. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely. Well, what happened
Mm-hmm.
is that I originally got started in 1980. I was doing a talk show on KYAC radio, and the late Freddie Mae Gaucher brought Reverend
Oh,
Jesse
yes.
Jackson in for an interview, and he was telling people that on January 15th, 1981, that Stevie Wonder was going to be having an event in Washington, D.C. to compel Congress to make Dr. King's birthday a national holiday. And Reverend Jackson said, well, since you guys are so far away and other cities are like having something named for Dr. King, it might be a good idea for you guys to do something out here. So talked to a number of people, Lacey Steele, Clarence Williams were Black firefighters, a lot of the clergy. And we all agreed that, a street name, and we named Empire Way, wanted to change that name because it began in the Black community
Right.
at Empire in Madison. And there was a lot of resistance, even from Mayor Charles Royer and other city officials, because they were trying to satisfy merchants on the other side of the street when it's at street's intersection with Rainier. On the other
Right.
south side of that street,
Right.
several merchants were upset about it. As a matter of fact, at the Empire Way Tavern, a drunk lady came out and attacked Bob Barnes while we were
Mm.
doing some picketing. But to make a long story short, so the city, because of the lawsuits, the city refused to put the signs up. In the very first march on January 15th, 1981, we had a march. 1983, we had a march from Empire Way in Madison, Martin Luther King Jr. Way in Madison, all the way to the end of the street to South Ryan. And in 1983, November 2nd, President Reagan, designated the third Monday in 1986 to be the first official Martin Luther King Jr. holiday.
Oh, okay.
And then on November 30th, the Washington State Supreme Court ruled that the city of Seattle had the authority to change the name of the street. We found out that some of the resistance, even the Mayor Roy was saying, well, it's a hardship on the businesses on the other side of the street. But, it's usually about letterhead and stuff like that. And when the city staff and transportation did an analysis, they said it would cost the city $65,000, and the post office would deliver the mail continuously until they changed their address. So we got that done, and then so now we're 41 years later. The streets names have been changed. And another thing, I want to credit the late Sam Smith and the late George Benson, who are two city council members. Councilmember Benson was chair of the Transportation Committee, and his staffer, Bob, what was his name? Anyway, Bob Morgan said, Eddie, the reason why they're resisting this because Empire Way is State Highway 900, which means they put MLK signs up on the freeway. And that was more resistance to that than anything else. But on one of the marches we had, the first march, a young lady was working for this Exxon station, was one of the leaders of the anti-MLK street naming event. She took off coveralls off and joined the march. And at that particular time, African Americans were the majority of the merchants for some of those businesses out there.
Right.
So we got that done. And then at the same time, after they ruled, the King County, Ron Sims and Bruce Olson, Democrat and Republican, they proclaimed, had a proclamation, it was 5-4, to change the name of the county to Martin Luther King Jr. County. Well, that was in '86. So 13 years later, at the Martin Luther King meeting rally, I said, Larry Gossett, it's been 13 years since we had it was proclaimed this is Martin Luther King Jr. County. We need to make it official. And so Larry did the research. It turns out the state legislature was the only body that could change the name of a county. And so Senator Adam Klein, the 37th district, introduced legislation 6 times before it passed. And at that time, Governor Christine Gregoire came up to Martin Luther King Jr. County Courthouse and signed the legislation.
Okay.
It took us 13 more months to get the logo because we had people who were, we have a picture of the courthouse as official. I said, the courthouse does not look like Martin Luther King Jr. So anyway, when they, after all that time, Vivian Phillips, a lot of other folks were involved in this whole process. So eventually we were able to pull that off as well. So that's why the official logo for Martin Luther King Jr. County is an image of Dr. King. So, and continuing that, about 5 years ago, Hayward Evans and I discussed, why don't we give people something more than just good feelings when they come to the rally and march and they go home, and some people need some help. So we the idea of having an opportunity fair, and we had a meeting this morning. We'll have another strategy meeting at 6:00 this evening to have. There's going to be 50 to 60 employers. There will be a resume enhancing room, and we have people working from various organizations, WorkSource, all kinds of different organizations. And Hayward has come up with an idea about having some kind of prizes and stuff and gifts to give people, entice them to actually come. But we know that a couple of years ago, several people were hired right on the spot. And a lot of people got interviews. We're going to do a better job of finding out exactly who got what and to find out, make sure these folks are coming through. But the employers are welcoming us. They're hiring people everywhere. And this is a good chance for people who might have one job that might want to step up to something to pay a little bit more money. We would encourage them to come at least check it out to see what the possibilities are. And if your resume is not together, hey, there will be people from the Urban League as well as some other folks from the committee who will be manning the resume room, enhancing the resumes. Also a photographer there doing a headshot for ID purposes. So that's just part of it. Now, in terms of it will all be at Garfield High School. The workshops, I think, start at 9:00. The rally will start at 11:30, and I'll get this precise pretty soon. The flyers are being made right now. We'll have those available to everybody very shortly, both for the Opportunity Fair and for the overall, because the Opportunity Fair is under the umbrella of the Seattle Martin Luther King Jr. Organizing Coalition. So
what's the theme this year? What is the theme this year?
The theme this year is MLK's Dream Unfinished. And you might recall when we had the 60th anniversary, Reverend Dr. Linda Smith, Martin Luther King Memorial Baptist Church, and Reverend Steve Baber and others came up with the theme for that as Dr. King's dream, it said continuation, not commemoration.
Oh yeah.
So because of that, Hayward has filed some papers. So our name will be the Martin Luther King Jr. Commemoration / Continuation Committee, because we can't just commemorate; we have to continue.
And that's right.
What he had done, because a lot of that's undone, and our rights are under attack right now by various elements of American society. Our voting rights. We still have issues with redistricting, trying to eliminate Black seats, and it's just really sad to have African Americans, African descent of the United States enslaved. It's like they say, well, you want preferential treatment. Well, what's preferential about giving you our people giving you 254 years of slave labor, 160 years of Jim Crow, and now you're closing the doors of colleges, you're trying to cut off the contracts. And as far as I'm concerned, African Americans is not preferential treatment, it's something we've earned. We've died every war defending this country. And I'm just saying, it's something that no other group has done. They have been here. And then it's like the only other group I think that had to fight in segregated units were the Japanese Americans who fought in World War II. But to think that these Black men at that time went abroad to fight on behalf of the country, come back to segregation, degradation, and humiliation after they have served the country. And the Tuskegee Airmen never would have took off had not been for Eleanor Roosevelt.
Oh no, Eleanor, my stepmother.
So I'm just saying. So we've always had some John Browns in our life, and that's true. Yeah. But to have Steve Alford and Stevens, Stephen Miller, and Ed Bloom trying to target Black folks for getting in colleges or any other kind of benefits. And it's not preferential for African descent. It's something we've earned.
Everything we got
years ago. Yeah. No other group of people of color, except for the Native Indigenous people, really have a legitimate complaint about spreading the pie up with everybody. There should be a set aside for college admissions and contracts specifically for the African.
You want a real revolution, okay?
Yeah, exactly. But I'm just saying we've earned that. No one is not giving us anything. We've earned that, and a lot of people who we fought to free to come over here have turned against specifically African Americans. And so,
but that's what the plan all the time has been. I was thinking about you today before I called you, and Reverend Hall can jump on that. She's in there now, but she's going to be on for when the segment ends. But I was thinking about you today because I was thinking about the whole setup in America is for us to never get ahead, because they never dreamt in their wildest dream that we will still be here and we'll still be functioning. And so this is the end of the second Reconstruction, and that's what we need to look at. The first Reconstruction lasted 10 years. This one has lasted a little while longer.
And then you look at with Martin Luther King Jr., the civil rights workers were able to get after the March on Washington in '63 for freedom and jobs, able to get the Civil Rights Act of '64 passed, the Voting Rights Act of '65 passed, and Lyndon Johnson we had probably 10 years of the Great Society programs, where there was a legitimate effort to uplift African Americans and give us opportunities. And before you know it, it's divided up with everybody else. And I'm saying
that's the goal, though. That is the goal.
Yeah. There needs to be a specific set aside in contracts and jobs and opportunities for education, other than just the football players and the basketball players.
When you said you were going to be talking with the black congressional caucus back there to get something going on that. But we're going to have to put a comma there. So Reverend Hall, you want to say hello to Mr. Rye before he leaves? You can unmute yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, hi. You want to say hello to Mr.
Rye?
Hello there. It's always good to see
Mr. Rye. How you doing?
Fine. It's always good to see the finest of reverends.
And you know what? I just love to hear you say that.
Well, I speak the truth.
I know you do.
All right.
All right, Mr. Rye. Thank you for coming on. I'm glad you could say hello to Reverend Dr. Laverne Hall. She's going to be talking about Advent and what this season is about, and we know what the Christ looked like. You know, I mean, we know what the Christ looked like. You know, hey, nobody want to tell the truth on that one. That's a whole nother conversation.
I've kind of rewritten Advent to suit me and my needs. Okay.
All right. Well, sounds
well,
good.
They said that when Herod was killing all the babies under 2 years old, and then Joseph and Mary took Jesus to Egypt, and you can't hide out where you stand out. So
that's right. That's right.
All right, thank you.
That was always the king say, how can you hide where you? That's right, because that would have stuck out like a sore thumb, man. It's like that's right. So all we got to do is put the pieces together ourselves, and we know what this is all about, and and so give us a little.
Eddie uttered the operative word, and that operative word is truth. Okay.
Yes.
It's truth. And we got it right here.
All right. Well, you have a good one now. Thank you very much, Mary.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All
right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
We're gonna take a break here in a few. You listen to the Mother's Justice Show on 11:50 a.m. KKNW. We'll be right back.
The King County Sheriff's Office is proud to support the Mother's Justice Show. We're an equal opportunity employer that recruits, hires, and trains qualified and diverse police officers to practice constitutional policing throughout King County. With a starting salary of $62,000 a year, scheduled pay increases along the way, generous health, dental, and vision insurance, and a take-home car upon successful completion of field training. This can be an attractive and rewarding career. So join us and be a person that serves their community and helps to bring about positive change. For more information on becoming a member of King County Sheriff's Office, go to our website, kingcounty.gov/DEPTS/sheriff. That's kingcounty.gov/departments/sheriff. Or get more information by calling 206-263-KCSO. That's 206-263-KCSO.
The Mother's Justice Show is brought to you by H.G. Walden and the Virtues Healing Circles. Join us for Wisdom and Wellness with Reverend Walden, a monthly virtual and in-person healing circle that focuses on community healing and growth. Learn more at virtueshealing.com. That's virtueshealing.com. Also, be sure to join our healing group on Facebook. Again, visit us at virtueshealing.com today.
Multicultural, multidimensional even. Alternative Talk 1150.
Good afternoon. You're listening to the Mother's Justice Show at 11:50 a.m. KKNW. I'm your host, Reverend Walden. Thank you. It's my joy to be on there. I want to bring my guest on here. I have the Reverend Dr. Laverne Hall that I've been knowing such a long, long time. And we were both enjoying Luther's voice, that.
Absolutely.
One thing about all of these recordings, they might be on the other side of the veil, but they've given us just as much joy as it was when they were in the body. And so just to listen to that voice, and Luther's voice, This is my favorite time of year. I'm just like I told Mr. Ride, I just get to be a kid again. I just love it. I'm not looking for nothing great. I just like to see the children. What excites me about this time of year is the magical belief of the child. And that's what scriptures say we're supposed to have, But these children, and my son Chickadee has been playing the Santa Claus. He's been Santa Claus now for a few years. And last year, a white couple came. And the little girl just fell into Chickadée's arm. I said, you know what it is? I said, it's the suit they like. I said, so you realize it's the suit that they like. It's not the color. And that's why, when you get to know a police officer for real, like Cookie,
right?
We see Cookie. We don't see the suit.
We don't see the blue. Right.
And then when we see the firemen, firemen's out here, when I grew up a fireman, they didn't wave to black kids at all. But here they wave to you, and then you had the black firefighters, and so you like to see them in the fireman clothes. But it's something about that Santa Claus suit that's just universal for the children. Now the parents might have something, but the parents was there, and to see that they so happy, they gonna give their list to a stranger. This is what's fascinating me as the older I get. They give that list to a stranger. They have so much belief that stranger, somebody is coming. Now, by the time they 10, 12, 13, 10, 9, 10 years, it ain't the same no more. But I tell you, to see that, it's a childlike wonder,
It's magical.
It is.
It's good. It's
It
good.
is.
Yeah.
It is
It just
good. It
makes
is
your
good.
heart smile.
It
Right.
And you know, former Representative Don Mason and Esther Mumford, they got new babies now. I mean, Esther Mumford has a child that was born after Donald, after her husband passed away. Born, the
Oh,
baby girl was born in October.
uh-huh.
Her name is Esther May, I believe.
Okay.
And Don Mason got a little girl. I mean, born in October. I think her name is Zoe. And so, I mean, you know, and Don, you know, she's just so happy. I said, yeah, one thing
I
about them
know
babies.
she is.
I said
Yeah.
one thing about them babies around Christmas time. Oh my goodness, you just jumps for joy, especially that you can see them now. It's not like it was
Right.
when you had COVID and stuff. And I'm really glad for Esther because this is her first grandchild. You
That's
know,
wonderful.
and then when I talked to her the other day, she said that Donald comes. They come once or twice a week and spend the night with the baby
Oh,
at her house.
wonderful.
Isn't that
Yes.
lovely? Yeah.
Yes.
Especially with Don passing this year, you know. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yes.
So Spirit always have a way to heal our hearts. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's always a way for us to get our hearts healed, no matter what we're going through. Like the Holy Spirit or something, just send some comforter, you know. And then those two babies that I know about, you know, it's a billion babies being born in the world already. But I'm not in their lives. But you know, so this is Advent, it's anticipation, it's joy. So you're here to talk about Advent and of course our girl. You know who our girl is, that Sojourner Truth, ain't
That's
our woman?
That's it. That's it. That's it. Yes. Yes.
Yes. So
Yeah.
anyway, you've been around Seattle a long time. I met you many, many years ago, and I've been involved with a lot of your projects because I have such a respect for you. And you know, one of the things I do in my life, I go and be of support for people that I respect. I mean, and you have been reciprocity. A lot of people, a lot of times it's not reciprocity, but that's how life is. But you've always been there, you know. You and Dr. Mim tell, sign my name, I'll credential anything you're doing, and you said the same thing.
I said the same thing. I didn't know she'd said it as well, but you know that's true.
That's what Dr. Mim said. He goes, "Oh, I'll credential anything you're doing because I know it's always high integrity."
Just
and
sign me up.
Yeah, that's what she said, and that's what you say too. So I'm grateful for that. You know, I'm grateful that I have that kind of trust, and people trust me that way. So I'm grateful. So anyway, I'll let you just go ahead and giving us some information about you and what you've done. I know you got those dolls back there. You've had many decades and many different lives in all these decades.
Well, you know, it's I learned a long time ago that ministry is your lifestyle, and your lifestyle is your prayer. And so it's all wrapped up together. There's no separation. And one thing that I do believe is that, and I just put my own spin on theology. So some
well, you and I do that. Yes.
Is that, and I guess I am what I would call a naive believer. I believe what I want to believe, and you might say that I'm a Jeffersonian, Thomas Jeffersonian, because Thomas Jefferson had his own Bible, the Thomas Jefferson Bible, and he just tore out what he wanted from the scriptures and put them all together, and that was his Bible, Thomas Jefferson. So I've basically done the same thing. I have a Laverne's Bible, and right now I am at chapter book 85, chapter 12, and pretty soon, in just a few weeks, I'll be at book 86.
Okay,
chapter
I know what that's about.
1. Okay?
I know what that's about. Yes,
you know what that's about.
I know what that's about. Yes, yes, I do. Yeah.
And according to Laverne's theology, it's like it's all good.
It's all good. Amen.
It's all good.
Amen.
And I take that all the way back to Genesis.
That's right.
God did in 7 days.
That's right.
Step 1, step 2, step 3, with day 1, day 2, day 3. And after each step or each day, he looked at what he had created, good, bad, and different, and said, that's good.
That's right. And
that's
we were made
good.
in that image.
Okay.
That's right.
That's
good. Well, you and I
So
are on the same page about that piece.
Yeah, whatever it is I have done in a day's time, just before evening, God said, that's good.
Good.
And then evening comes and I'm able to rest and evaluate along with God to know how it is I am to proceed with the gift of a brand new day. Okay?
That's right. Oh, so that's wonderful.
That's Laverne's theology. And as it relates to Advent, I've kind of put my own personal spin on that as well. Mm-hmm. Traditionally, Christian tradition is that Advent is the 4 Sundays prior to Christmas Day.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 4 Sundays prior to Christmas Day. And Christmas Day is the birth of Jesus. Mm-hmm. But what I am doing now, Reverend, is taking those 4 Sundays, which are symbolized by hope, peace, joy, and what's the other one? Hope, peace, joy, and love. Mm-hmm. And that 5th candle is the birth of Jesus. But for what I do now for me and my family, I just segue those 5 candles in that Advent season right on into Kwanzaa.
Right.
And rather than 5 candles, I now have 12 candles because I do 7 candles myself for Kwanzaa, and I've got a symbol for each one of those 7 days. Okay. That let's see, we've got integrity, independence, interdependence, inheritance, inspiration, influence, and back again to inheritance. And so I just kind of take the whole thing through through the generations to say that Advent is really like an adventure. And it's not just preparing for Christmas Day when Jesus is born, but for believers, it is preparing yourself for the adventure of a lifetime, which is the coming
Just a minute, there's something that's going on here that I'm trying to fix.
Okay, doke.
Yeah, I'm fixing it right now. Yeah. All right.
Okay. Yes. No, which is the second coming of Christ. So that just goes right back to the lifestyle that you're living that is preparing you for the second coming of Christ, which is the adventure of a lifetime, which is meant to be full of the peace, the joy, the hope, the love, and just being just that one line, that line of truth that leads me right to our distinguished ancestor, Sojourner Truth, and all of the others who have come before us, along with Sojourner Truth. And that is kind of how my annual calendar is shaped.
Right.
From Advent to Kwanzaa to just the lifestyle and the ministry that is actually lifestyle in prayer.
Well, see, I grew up in the AME church, and Advent was not part of anything we did. We did watch night, waiting for Lincoln to sign the paper, and people went to. But we had a Christmas program, but Advent was not anything part of the AME system at that time. They might have added it by now. So, I mean, I got involved with knowing about Advent when I had a short time that my former husband and I, the late Mr. Salisbury, that we were Catholic. And he maintained. I mean, he went on to become a bishop in the Coptic American Coptic Church before he passed away. But the most pronounced thing to me about Advent is that my kids, somebody crying because somebody ate their candy. I mean, somebody always crying because the next day belonged to somebody and don't know that ate the candy. And somebody would be crying because somebody that name don't know ate the candy.
Well, I grew up Baptist, and I never knew anything about Advent because we didn't celebrate it when I was growing up in the Baptist church.
No.
And didn't really start celebrating Advent until recently, probably maybe 20 years or so ago, was when we actually started celebrating Advent. And so my experience now has shaped how it is I celebrate Advent.
Right.
That it's just a continuous line of truth from the day that I was born, preparing me for the second coming of Christ. And so it's all one. Of course, we do celebrate Christmas. And that really seems like how most people celebrate Advent. The end of November and that 4 weeks until Christmas. And so it's a time to buy your gifts and wrap your gifts, go into debt for people that you don't like, people that you don't know, to make sure that they're going to have something from you, and you're going to be paying for it for the rest of the year, and the year coming, and the year coming. That's a traditional commercial Advent.
Yeah, but when I was growing up, of course, I had a Christmas, Easter, and birthday dad because I was raised by my grandparents. So the special delivery would always come on Christmas Eve. In those days, that special delivery, like they got FedEx. You can get mail to come to your house, and because we had a post office box, and I always got something that way, and and then it was always something for me because I was the only person there, I was the only child, so it wasn't anything that way. So I always had nice Christmases, and I don't have not one memory of not having a good Christmas. And my pronounced one is that every year I got to have a small can of Pabst Blue Ribbons beer. I mean, that was so I could go to sleep. So Santa could come, and then, I put a piece of cake on the mantle, didn't know that my aunt was going to eat it. But
well, we all have
sparklers. I would be outside with sparklers, outside my house with sparklers on the front porch or either on the steps with sparklers. Because in Florida, it wasn't really that cold, but it was because Florida didn't get that cold. Every now and then you get a real cold. But if you lived in a substandard house, you were cold, but we had a fireplace and a wood stove. So
Oh, you were rich.
With a fireplace and a wood stove. Yeah, I cooked on a wood stove for a long time. So hey, my grandma used to make good cakes on the wood stove too. It's like, my goodness, and she used to cook a turkey in a paper bag in a wood stove.
Right? Yeah.
we had wasn't no fall in those days, and it was, nobody buying it. Nobody buying no fall.
Well, we had a coal burning stove, so we burnt coal.
Okay.
And growing up as kids, we did not get toys for Christmas. We didn't know what toys were.
Okay.
So, no, we didn't. What my parents gave their 3 children, and then four children, we got books. We got crayons and paper products, things to keep our minds busy.
Oh, no wonder you good at anything.
So no, we didn't know what toy, and probably because they couldn't afford toys.
Yeah, I couldn't afford them either. I told my kids. I used to tell my kids, this is really, mothers do a lot to keep their sanity, and I used to tell my kids, I said, look, only crazy people buy it this time of year, I say, because look, in January, it's going to be cheaper anyway. I said, so let's wrap up something old, and do sometimes we did a recycle. I did in January when I went back to school. I got my financial aid, and they got their little list going to Toys R Us because everybody else's toys are tore up. I'm telling you, okay, their stuff is tore up. They got for Christmas. If you get new toys, you're gonna only be the new person. You're gonna be the only person with some new toys because the stuff don't last but 30 days.
It doesn't. It doesn't. And relative to dolls, you see all the dolls that I have around me.
Yes.
But, we didn't even get dolls for Christmas.
I didn't ever have a doll either. I didn't get a doll until I think when I went to the state fair, somebody won a doll and gave it to me, and it wasn't black. Okay, now don't get that twisted. No. Well, no black dolls out there, and if so, the black dolls, they always make the white dolls look better than the black dolls, and I know why the doll thing that they did with Thurgood Marshall. I know why the black kid took the white doll because the white doll was looking a little bit better, and the black doll was so it wasn't that she didn't like herself. It's like the doll was all beat up and yucky, and the other doll looked like I had on better clothes,
and look, had blue eyes.
So, and you know what else, Dr. Laverne, you know what else I didn't see? I never saw a black angel in my life till I was grown. You know what I mean? Because you get the funeral home giving the fans with the white Jesus on it.
Right, yeah. Well, I never saw a black angel until I started producing black doll shows. Okay. And I always did the largest doll show that was produced in the country. I did every November in Wilberforce. And that's when I saw black dolls that were made by black doll artists. But I never saw a black angel.
No, I didn't either.
No.
And I had a friend, she's in spirit now. She made me a ceramic black angel. I mean, and I was full of tears. I'm saying, wow, you know that? I mean, because this brainwashing is real. I mean, and that's why we schizophrenic. We got a white Jesus, and then you got the white police officer. Okay, so you got the white police officer with his foot on your neck sometimes, and then you pray to a white Jesus, and it's like, oh my God. So I mean that's why it's always schizophrenic because the deity does not match the treatment.
That's
I mean,
right. That's
so that causes schizophrenic thinking. Well, but you got to get old enough to dissect it and to free yourself, okay?
But some of us never do get old enough to dissect it. And we stay in that rut.
Yeah.
We stay there.
Yeah, we stay there. And a lot of the preachers keep you there because they don't always, they don't free you. I mean, sometimes, they're not freeing you either. I mean, it's like, hey, because all you got to do is go back there and you can see that the people who were there, I mean, so sometimes you don't find your freedom there either, see.
Well, listen, don't get me started on preachers.
Okay, well, let's take a break. You listen to the Mother's Justice Show at 11:50 a.m. KKNW. I'm your host, Reverend Walden. We'll be right back.
The King County Sheriff's Office is proud to support the Mother's Justice Show. We're an equal opportunity employer that recruits, hires, and trains qualified and diverse police officers to practice constitutional policing throughout King County. With a starting salary of $62,000 a year, scheduled pay increases along the way, generous health, dental, and vision insurance, and a take-home car upon successful completion of field training. This can be an attractive and rewarding career. So join us and be a person that serves their community and helps to bring about positive change. For more information on becoming a member of King County Sheriff's Office, go to our website, kingcounty.gov/DEPTS/sheriff. That's kingcounty.gov/departments/sheriff. Or get more information by calling 206-263-KCSO. That's 206-263-KCSO.
The Mother's Justice Show is brought to you by H.G. Walden and the Virtues Healing Circles. Join us for Wisdom and Wellness with Reverend Walden, a monthly virtual and in-person healing circle that focuses on community healing and growth. Learn more at virtueshealing.com. That's virtueshealing.com. Also, be sure to join our healing group on Facebook. Again, visit us at virtueshealing.com today.
Need help getting started with self-help? You came to the right place. Alternative Talk 1150.
Good afternoon. You're listening to the Mother's Justice Show at 1150 a.m. KKNW. I'm your host, Reverend Walden. It's my joy to be on there. And I know you're just wondering, what are they having so much fun about? Well, we're having fun. We're having fun about it because we just have to have some fun sometimes. You know, life, sometimes it's all of the stuff coming at us. And I say we haven't had a break since we got captured. We haven't known peace and fight since we've been on North American shores. Okay, don't think you're gonna have any peace here. So yeah, anytime we can carve out a little place to have a little laughter, a little peace, we're gonna take advantage of that. So and my guess is the Reverend Dr. Laverne Hall. We've been knowing each other for years, and she's author of a few books and she's done many things. And I think we'll take this time talking about the next this last segment. We'll spend our time talking about our girl that we love. We love ourselves some Sojourner Truth.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Ain't that a woman, she turned I've been loving her a long time. And I know you went back to school and you got your dissertation and bringing her back. And I'll let you talk about that. I mean, because you brought her back. I mean, she never went anywhere because she's an 8-hour woman. So we're
8-hour woman. Yeah. She said, one of her quotes, if one woman can turn the world upside down, just think about what all of us can do together.
That's right.
We can turn it right side up again. And one of my favorite distinguished ancestors is Winnie Mandela.
Oh,
and
yes.
I always have to bring Winnie into any conversation relative to Sojourner Truth and women of today is that Winnie was being interviewed on one of the cable channels. And, Winnie was meticulous, beautiful, inside and out. So the interviewer said, well, how is it that after all that you have been through, and you still can sit here and you're beautiful, you're meticulous, and you just look marvelous and you sound great. What do you attribute that to? And Winnie looked at her eye to eye, and Winnie said, I was designed for the struggles of my generation. Now,
wow.
Those are some heavy and deep words.
Yes.
She was designed for the struggles of her generation, as was Sojourner Truth.
That's right.
Sojourner Truth was designed. And so I believe part of my theology, Reverend Doctor, is that we often say that so-and-so was born before their time, or so-and-so died before their time.
Right.
But I believe that you are here at such a time as this this particular time and this particular struggle.
Yes.
And only you can do what God has for you to do within the sphere of influence that He has given you.
Right. That's
right. And within that sphere of influence, you go from a spirit, because that's where you come from.
Right.
And you make that full circle back to spirit, because that's where I believe you're going.
Right.
And I can say that whoever it is, I can call them a saint, because nobody knows what that conversation is with you and your God when you take that last breath over the bridge of troubling water. Nobody knows what that is privy to that conversation.
Right, that's right.
So
that's
God may have made you a saint during that. That's what I have to assume.
Right.
So I call them saints, and they are distinguished.
Right. Right. And the one thing, I'm stuck in Genesis 2. I mean, mainly Genesis 1 that says everything God created was good, and we were created in the image of God, and so that means that the spirit in us always is pure. I mean, and so the rest of the Bible is being redeemed, because people they couldn't believe that it was all good. So they had to go out and become, they had to go be the prodigal son, they had to go do this. They had to go do that, okay, because they couldn't believe it. How could it all be good? And so the rest of it, people they're just being redeemed. You know, I call the rest of the book is the book of redemption.
Like Mama told me not to do that.
And that's right.
Mama told me to do such and such and such.
That's right.
But I didn't do it because I wanted to try it out for myself.
That's right.
You should have listened to your mama.
That's exactly right. Because you see, it's already good. It's already perfect. Because the master, you know,
it is good. It is good.
Good. Right. It is good. And our job, while we're here, for me, for my beliefs, is that I'm supposed to look at this stuff right here and say, in the midst of this, God is. God is. In the midst of this, God is. And the more we can see that, all this other stuff will disappear.
That's it.
If we could keep our eyes on the prize in the midst of this stuff. And it's tough.
It is tough. You know what I call it? John Lewis called it good trouble. I call it. That's everything that we do. Stocking stuffers. Stocking stuffers. Because, or not, if not a stocking stuffer, a giant test tube that is full of every conceivable thing that you can think of, good, bad, or indifferent, and is ready, set to explode at any minute in time. But because you believe, I believe, it is good.
Good, that's right.
Okay.
It transforms. Transformation happens. It's transformation happens, see. You know, right. I mean, really, really and truly. And you know, the one thing that the scripture, I'm not a Bible something, you know that. You know, I'm a spiritual, you know, I'm a teacher. I'm not a preacher.
I know. Yeah.
but you know what? It says, if you sit still, I'll make your enemy your footstool.
That's it.
I believe that.
I believe
that. I believe that. Because see,
patience, patient prayer, patient conversation with God.
Right.
And paced progress. God will pace your progress if you just believe, because you know that on the other side of that line, at the end of the tunnel, you know, it is not a train coming to meet you, but it is the lamp unto your feet that God has provided that is going to show you every step of the way. So, girl, go ahead and meet that light that's at the end of the tunnel, because it's good. It's all good.
It's all good. You know what I like to demonstrate? I like to demonstrate how good it is, because I say God always has an angel for me every day. I mean, everywhere I go, there's an angel. I mean, everywhere I go, there's an angel for me. And I believe that. I believe that, you know, and some people are angels and they don't even know they're supposed to be my angel because I'm short. And in the grocery store, they got the stuff I want way up high. And I call people and say, come here, you know, no matter what color they are. You know, say, I mean, you tall, come here, you know, and sometimes they have a wife with them or not. But I said, come on over here, you know, I mean, I told you, I said, I can't reach that up there.
Reverend, you do the thing that I do. Reverend McKinney used to tell me all the time, wait, I don't know if you're sitting down or standing up.
Well, see, I'm 5 feet 2 inches and a half and have grown since I was in the 9th grade. I got tall grandkids and all my grandkids got short grandmothers. You know how that works. So, yeah. And so, you know, it's like when you believe that God always has an angel for you, somebody good. And I mean, really, and I'm either going to be the blessing or somebody going to be the blessing for me. I mean, really and truly. See,
this is what I say. Is God is closer to you than Superman is to Clark Kent.
Well, you know, it's just breath away. I mean, you know, that energy is breathing us now. I mean, that's I did that because it's never been separated. The church wants you to think that it's separated, but how can God separate itself from its own creation? It's never been separated. So that's false doctrine.
It's right in here with me everywhere I go.
That's right, and that's why
I can't even say it's my shadow because it's in here.
Oh, that's right. And that light just shines. See, that light shines. Really and truly, it does. And so, you know, the greatest gift for me around this time is the seed. You know, Adam Smith, father of capitalism, said that
Right.
From November to January, there's an invisible. He said there's an invisible hand in capitalism that compels them to do good, and that's true. It starts before Thanksgiving and ends sometime in January.
Right.
Now, just think if that could go the whole year, how good the world would be.
But then that wouldn't be capitalism.
Yeah, but see, there's something magical about this time of year. I mean, even the so-called Grinch, the people don't like Christmas is because sometimes they never had a good one, or somebody died on Christmas Day. I mean, it's a whole lot of reasons.
Yeah.
But it's still the joy of this time of year, and that's what really inspires me. And also, you're going to get the winter solstice, and it's the beginning of the light. And before all this got, before it got all co-opted by the Catholic Church, it was a pagan holiday on some level because it was about the light returning. See, it was a return of the light. And then and it does start happening right away. Those little seconds, and by the time March comes, the light is here again.
That's it.
And man can't do nothing about it. I don't care how much they want to. Now, man can't do nothing about it. This is something they cannot stop.
We have been given at birth one of the best gifts that we will ever receive, and that is the gift of choice.
Yes.
The gift of choice.
Yes.
Which means that we can say yay or nay.
That's right.
We can create.
Yes.
We can do.
That's right. And you know what? And you're one of the most creative persons that I've ever met. I tell you that our time here is almost over, but I'm just so glad. I'm glad that I'm glad that that we signed up before we were in our mother's womb that we would do this last walk together.
Absolutely. I mean, it's providential. It's providential. Yeah.
And we all these people, and I'm just so inspired by you and the work that you do and you've done and continue to do, and those dolls and the Sojourner Truth Ministry. I've been part of that,
Yes, you have. And not that you've been part of it, but you're still part of the experience.
I am part of it. I am part of it because anybody who believed like she did, that she had a place in the world. And she believed in precognition. She believed that God talked to her. God sent her mission, sent her visions, and she was obedient to the word of God. Obedient
in spite of all of that stuff she had within her communication model, within her sphere of influence. That's right.
Yes,
she could still hear the voice of the Spirit speaking to her, and she listened.
And so do you. And now, and I thank you for being on my show here, and you always listen and always bring me joy. I thank you so much. You've been listening to the Mothers. You're welcome. You've been listening to the Mothers Justice Show on 11:50 a.m. KKNW. I'm your host, Reverend Walden. It's my joy to be on there. I'll see you next week. Take care.